Long before time, there was a show called Ninjago. When I hear Ninjago, all I think about are the memories. The Green Ninja arc, Zane dying, the tournament arc, Cole turning into a ghost, Lloyd becoming evil, Lord Garmadon, Sensei Wu, Dareth. There have been a lot of great shows that have come out when we were kids that have been analyzed to death, but why don't we talk about Ninjago? I don't know, but today I'm stepping in and doing my part. Today we're going to look at LEGO Ninjago and why it's an absolute spin. Tongue twister, an absolute win. Your first thought on why it's so great is probably that it's easy, it's LEGO. Wrong, incorrect. There have been many shows with LEGO, but none of them have even come close to Ninjago. Like Nexo Knights? Are we joking? Is that even still on? Where's Laval and the Chima gang? Don't act like I forgot about them. Cartoon Network, where are their unmarked graves? I want to pay my respects. The reason Ninjago actually stuck around and is so special is because of the fantastic characters, the boys. Now most shows from this era came with duo characters, your Gumball and Darwin, Mordecai and Rigby, Garfield and Odie. And if you really wanted to get crazy, you went up to 3 main characters. And these are for the more sophisticated shows like Avatar: The Last Airbender and the classic Power Rangers Jungle Fury. But 4, that is unheard of. Making 4 main characters? Ninjago though says not only are we going to make 4 main characters, but the entire plot for the first season is going to be around a 5th character that will join the group, the Green Ninja. Straight up ballsy. And it all works because, well, how do I put this eloquently? Because all of the characters freaking rule. So you got the boys in season 1. They have all these golden weapons from this LEGO Ninjago DVD episode that I remember watching as a kid, but I can't find anywhere. Anyways, all these ninjas have a certain element. Kai, the main leader sort of, and the coolest character, has fire because he's a hothead. That's his element. Jay, the blue ninja, has lightning because he's eccentric. Zane, the white ninja, has ice, and that's because he's cold and distant. And Cole, the black ninja, has earth because he's more rough and tough. And that, kids, is what we call a metaphor. And the best part is, all 4 of them were absolutely lovable. You like them all. There's not a single bad character in this group. And I would go to the end of the earth to protect these gamers. I love them so much. And the show gets us attached to them by focusing on them a lot early in the show. And in season 1, we see most of the groundwork being laid for the larger stories to come by really focusing on individual characters and having adventures that directly tie into each ninja's past. We don't get flashbacks, but we do have little episodes for each ninja, and they have an adventure that ties in with it. This is where we learn about Jay's junker parents, or Cole's father that sings, or the fact that Zane was a robot. Wait, what? This is where 7-year-old me had his first existential crisis because it made me question if I was a robot. But like, I didn't think I'd be a cool robot. I thought I'd just be like a normal one, like Bigwell. Yet all this character development and the story feels completely natural because of the genius interweaving between story and characters. And with that, we have to talk about the first season revolves around the idea of a green ninja, one ninja who can master all 4 elements and will save Ninjago, and Sensei Wu tells them it will most likely be one of the 4 ninjas, so we're hooked. In every episode early on, we're paying attention to all the characters to get any hint of who it might be. Then they hit us out of nowhere with that the green ninja isn't actually any of them, but actually the son of the most evil man ever, Lord Garmadon, who wants to take all of the ninja's weapons to become the most evil man ever. And the crazy thing is, the green ninja subplot isn't even paid off in season 1. It's paid off in the final fight at the end of season 2. And that's my favorite thing about this show, and I think what makes it so special. The structure. Ninjago was always playing 4D chess when it came to its story, putting characters and moments into previous seasons only to pay them off later down the road in the next season. It shouldn't be that surprising of a storytelling device, but a lot of shows that come out now clearly don't even try this. Look, we have Garmadon and his villainous arc teased in season 1, then in season 2, Garmadon works with the Overlord who becomes the main villain in season 3. Then they hint at the death of Zane throughout that season, only for us to lead into season 4, where the whole premise revolves around the ninjas trying to go to an island in hopes to find Zane. Then season 5, which is probably where the show should have stopped, is this full circle story of the villain Moro, who's the first student trained by Sensei Wu, and he was supposed to be the green ninja, so he ends up possessing Lloyd, and this time the ninjas have to fight him using all 4 of their elements to go up against the one who's mastered them all. I don't even have words. It's just so well written. I don't even know why they went so hard in these first 5 seasons. And that sense of cohesion works so well when it's a type of show that is constantly reinventing itself. Since Ninjago has these great characters that we know so well, the show constantly says what is the most creative way to change it up each season, so our heroes have something to go up against this time that is completely new. The first 2 seasons are pretty similar, just being in Ninjago but telling both very separate and large stories, one being about a massive snake that will destroy Ninjago and the other being about Garmadon growing to power and how the green ninja must stop him. Both are fantastic, but they end up feeling like one large season, but season 3 really shakes up the formula in a near cyberpunkish world with hacking and crazy crazy evil robots. And then season 4 comes out of nowhere, happening on an island with a slave site underneath in a very Temple of Doom way, along with a huge tournament where we get to see all these new characters fighting and they all have different powers. It's fantastic. And then season 5 is this nightmare world and it's been taken over by ghosts of the past. Ninjago, why are you so good? And it's because Ninjago always allowed itself to be reinvented and never to be stale, yet that's also the reason that no one talks about Ninjago anymore. It just went on forever. The amount of people tuning into Ninjago severely drops after season 5, and to be fair, this is where I stopped watching too. I would later come back to watch season 6 on Netflix and a bit of season 7, but I just couldn't get into these seasons as much as a lot of people. And most people that I know that I grew up with really just care about those first 5 seasons. And that is because the story thematically built up to this final conclusion and most people were done. The main storyline that had been going from the very beginning of the Green Ninja and him and Garmadon is all wrapped up here. Lloyd shows that he truly deserved the mantle by traveling through the multiverse against the villain Moro. Garmadon is finally a truly good man and sacrifices his life for his son. The ninjas barely survive. Nia finally becomes a ninja, and all the ninjas ascend to their final power, which is their Jitsu. It's the most dangerous and taxing fight for the ninjas, but at the end you feel like they have finally finished it. And I think it ends with such a strong visual. People look back at how distinct and interesting and how well wrapped up the final season was. They just look back at the final 5 seasons, went, yeah, I'm good. And honestly, looking back, it makes sense why the show was such a success. Each season was such an interesting and distinct season, with genuinely great and different thematic storylines. It isn't a surprise to see why this show was just an absolute banger. And you can see that trickle down from the main writers of the show. They said we wanted something that treats the kids intelligently, also emotionally intelligently. They understand drama, let's give them a story that's going to continue because it's serialized. We thought of it as more as one giant movie or a mini-series. I think that really added a lot of depth, a lot of heart to Ninjago that you don't see on other shows. And I think that's true. It did feel like one big story coming to an end. By the time season 5 came out, a lot of the demographic as well had grown out of the show and they were done with it. That original main demographic of boys 6 to 11, 5 years later had grown up with the show and could tell that it was just reaching its end. And I would know. I was one of those kids in that demographic that ended up stop watching the show because I thought it had ended. And it's okay to let things end and have times where you jump off of a show. You don't have to watch a show forever. And it's okay to cherish those early seasons that you watched as a kid and absolutely love. I don't intend to talk about the later seasons of Ninjago because I didn't watch them, but I bet in 10 years, whenever kids watch those and love those, they'll make a video like I am defending those and why they're special to them. But for me, those first 5 seasons of Ninjago were genuinely amazing. It was this heavily serialized show just about telling one small narrative in each season with an overall strong story that would lead into the next season. It was amazing. It had everything. Super fun characters, crazy vehicles, new ideas constantly being added like elemental weapons, true potential, then sci-fi villains, a tournament arc, ghosts, air jitsu. It was a show that was constantly blowing you away with how interesting and how big of a world it was crafting. And for those 5 seasons, it felt like it had pure and unabridged imagination. And to this day, those seasons are still a blast to rewatch, as well as those intros. My gosh, those opening 5 season intros are absolutely amazing. And from start to back, it's just amazing. The whole first season with the snakes and the Great Devourer is so fun. Garmadon in season 2 getting all the weapons and becoming an evil dragon. Fighting Lloyd in the final battle when he unlocks his true potential and becomes the Gold Ninja. I remember watching that live, baby. That was bigger than the Super Bowl in my day. Zane becoming the main hero in season 3, fighting a huge war against the man who took over Garmadon. Then you got season 4. This one might be my favorite. This is the one where they're in that tournament. There's all these fights in this March Madness bracket. It's amazing. And then season 5 where it comes full circle with the Green Ninja, an extremely satisfying ending. And we get to see my boys from Chima one last time. They weren't forgotten after all. Thank you. Ninjago is a jam. And even though the entire show isn't perfect, I have no problem looking back at those first few seasons and seeing my childhood. And Ninjago still in my eyes is a nostalgic masterpiece.